Edina Lekovic is a communications director for the Muslim Public Affairs Council. She joins us now here in LA. Edina, thank you so much for coming in, suddenly under these circumstances. The Council on American Islamic Relations has in the past said that Islamophobia in America goes through cycles of intensity. Is that what we're witnessing right now?
Absolutely. What we see after each major terror plot, or even in every major election cycle, is we see these upticks in hate rhetoric and then also hate crimes. And that's certainly what we're seeing. I mean, we just got a small taste of the dozens of hate attacks, hate incidents, vandalism, death threats that have been taking place against mosques, community centers, and individual Muslims. And I think that that's what's so frightening to the average everyday person, is that, you know, a South Asian grandmother was stabbed to death on her front stoop for no reason. These two women were attacked last week walking down the street with their stroller, also in New York. One of them was punched in the face by another woman, this attacker who told them to go back to their country. These kinds of attacks, they're un-American, because fundamentally we're supposed to have freedom of religion, and that's a core American value. So these attacks are an attack on America. They're an attack on American values. They're not a Muslim problem. They're an American problem, and they should signal to us that we need to take this political rhetoric more seriously, and that we need more direct counter speech to that political rhetoric.
So with that in mind, when you know, the presidential nominee of the Republican Party says statements like, "I think Islam hates us," and he proposes that temporary ban on Muslims from entering the country, does that empower someone to act? Does it suddenly mean that it's okay in that political climate to go out and maybe not attack somebody, but to say something, to be abusive, and the entire atmosphere changes? It's
lighter fluid on a pile of coals. People are only as good or as bad as what their political leaders feed them, what their media feeds them, all of the information that ends up leading to them to come to certain conclusions. But when we have political leaders who are vying for the highest land in the highest office in the land, and who are using this kind of rhetoric, it emboldens people to make bad decisions. And when people get stupid, they make awful decisions. I mean, people who are not even Muslim, who have been Sikh and other faiths, have been targeted and killed by hate mongers. A Christian Arab man was killed by his neighbor in Tulsa, Oklahoma, after that same neighbor ran over his mother. I mean, this just happened a few weeks ago. In many of these cases, local folks are just struggling to get them acknowledged as hate crimes. While there are certainly murder charges that are in the works, it means something to put hate crimes charges to them, because it's also the same reason that we need political leaders to be pushing back.
And to that point of pushing back, what are your thoughts as to about the counter speech, about the countering of this, how those in power right now are responding to this moment that America finds itself in?
You know, I've been really heartened and felt reassured whenever I hear President Obama remind us of what our values are as Americans and express a zero-tolerance policy towards hate towards any group. And we also need to see more of our congressional leaders follow their lead. We need to see both Trump and Clinton follow their lead and express a zero-tolerance policy. Unfortunately, Donald Trump is expressing the opposite now, calling for a ban on Muslims, saying that Obama created ISIS, proposing that we should question the loyalty of Muslim parents of military officers. These kinds of things send exactly the wrong message at a time when American Muslims are valued voters, if they're nothing else, and our votes count just like everybody else's in the election, and we could play a pivotal role in certain swing states like Florida and Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I read that Muslims are getting very politically active this season, which may be the way they bring about change.
Yeah, but fundamentally, it's every person has a right to life, and nobody should feel fearful walking down the street in any of our free societies.
Edina, thank you so much for coming in and just driving the point home.
Thanks for creating a platform.
Sure. Thank you.